that the Jets really believe that Derek Carr is the type of quarterback that can lead them to a potential championship.
Derek Carr has just had a long weekend trip with the Jets. David Carr, Derek Carr's brother on NFL Network, gave some insight into where Derek Carr's head is at in free agency. The biggest question that remains is, do Robert Saleh and the New York Jets prefer Derek Carr to somebody like Aaron Rodgers? We cover the biggest stories in the NFL. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this. So Derek Carr had dinner over the weekend. You see Robert Saleh there, along with new offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and Todd Downing, the passing game coordinator. Downing is the most interesting figure here because he has a relationship with Derek Carr that stems all the way back to Derek Carr's time with the Oakland Raiders in 2015 to 2017. What's crazy is Nathaniel Hackett actually got his start in coaching by John Gruden. In 2006 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Gruden hired Nathaniel Hackett as a quality control coach. And Carr spent 4 seasons with Gruden. That's the guy he's most recently studied under. And if it was Derek Carr's choice, I guarantee he'd hope that John Gruden was still the coach. So Nathaniel Hackett knows what it's like to coach the MVP quarterback recently in Aaron Rodgers in 2020 and 2021. He also knows how John Gruden works from his start in the NFL. So maybe he's bringing in people like Todd Downing, someone who knows Derek Carr personally, because Hackett probably believes he can get the best out of Derek Carr, quite possibly Aaron Rodgers level production like he had in 2020 and 2021 when he was the MVP. The problem is can the Jets convince Derek Carr that they're the team, because we know the Saints are in the equation as well. And you see David Carr talking about how Derek's going to go through this long process of finding his next team.
It's honestly going to be a long process though. He really only has the Saints, the Raiders, and the Jets to kind of compare those 3 places. And so he wants to do his due diligence and see as many places as he can.
Think about it. This dude has never ever been a free agent in his life. He's drafted by the Raiders in 2014 and has never seen any other building since. So just out of curiosity, I think he's going to want to see what other teams have to offer. We know Frank Reich of the Carolina Panthers was also asked about Derek Carr just today.
Derek Carr is available. Will you guys bring him in on a visit?
Interesting question. We're still really not ready to address the specifics of that because we're really just beginning.
And the Panthers, most people believe they'll draft their next quarterback, but I'm not sure it's so likely. They're picking at number 9. We know the Raiders will likely draft a quarterback, along with the Houston Texans, along with the Indianapolis Colts. And who knows, the Seahawks and Lions could also attempt to draft for a QB. And we know Frank Reich, when he was with the Indianapolis Colts, he was prepared to trade for Derek Carr after the 2021 season, but the Raiders elected to move forward with Derek Carr instead. There is a contradiction here. Derek Carr wants to visit as many teams as possible, and it almost appears like David Carr is almost blowing out a signal to other teams saying, hey, hit up Derek, he's down to visit more teams and just see what's out there. But at the same time, Derek Carr apparently wants a decision to be made soon before the start of free agency.
Carr wants to have his deal done before the start of free agency so that he can help bring in and help kind of bring other people with him to the team that he ends up choosing.
So a decision has to be made soon, and what's interesting is Derek wants this to happen because he wants to recruit other players to his new team. The big question is, who could these possible friends of Derek Carr be? If you take the Jets, for example, they have a great wide receiver in Garrett Wilson, but when you look at the receiving cast around him, it's not that impressive. You got Corey Davis with 536 yards, Elijah Moore with 446, along with Conklin, the tight end, for 552. But Derek Carr does have some friends who could fill this void. The Jets can get out of secondary wide receiver Corey Davis's contract. He signed this contract before the 2021 season, a 3-year deal, but the Jets could save a tremendous amount of cap space by releasing him before this upcoming season. And there are going to be some players who could fit in here with the Jets and Derek Carr. Players like Nelson Aguilar, who does know Derek Carr and had some success with him in 2020 with the Raiders. He actually had one of his best seasons ever in terms of yardage and touchdowns. In yards, he had 896, a career high, 8 TDs, tying his high from 2017 with the Eagles when they went to the Super Bowl. And he did this with the Raiders with 48 receptions, topping the 2017 year where he had 62 receptions, more receptions. And then you have Foster Moreau, the tight end of the Raiders, who filled in when Darren Waller was absent. He hasn't really been given an opportunity to play and start a full season, but Derek Carr does have a relationship with this guy. He's drafted in the 4th round out of LSU. IQ, and if given an opportunity, he can be more productive than CJ Uzomah or Tyler Conklin. And one of these friends could be OBJ. He's hung around Derek Carr at the Pro Bowl before, has joked around with him on social media before, and then you have Sauce Gardner while he's on Twitch hanging out, playing some video games with Odell Beckham Jr. There could be some serious recruiting going on. I do think the Jets are the best place for Derek Carr. I also do not believe that the Jets are going to go after Aaron Rodgers. Think about Nathaniel Hackett. There's rumors that he took the Denver Broncos job. They expected Aaron Rodgers to get traded to Denver. Then they had to go and get Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers kind of burned Hackett there and ended up staying in Green Bay. And Nathaniel Hackett, he's really in charge of the offense. We know Robert Saleh is a defensive guy. I do not think Hackett is going to put all his eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket again and get burned again. Plus, we know Derek Carr is younger. He gives you a chance to develop something more long-term. And I truly believe 2022 was an outlier season for Derek Carr. He's way better than that. And there was some weird stuff going on with Josh McDaniels. And if you have the Jets offense with pieces like Garrett Wilson, with Elijah Moore, with Michael Carter, Breece Hall, if he's able to come back healthy, and then you add in Foster Moreau at tight end, Nelson Aguilar is another wide receiver option, I think you can have yourself a pretty fire, competent Jets offense that they have never ever experienced before. The Jets ultimately have to make a decision on Corey Davis. I kind of think they're going to move on from the guy. And also Elijah Moore. We know he was upset with his targets last year. Maybe they move him, but he would also be a great number 3 receiver as well. Either way, let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments below. We'll be breaking the news, making a video as soon as it's announced, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.